Hey, I want to share with you one lesser known feature of Kubernetes. It's called the Kubernetes Downward API, and it's one of those things that you might not need on a daily basis, but every now and then you will certainly benefit from it. When your application runs inside the pod, it's not aware that it's running inside Kubernetes. It knows nothing about the pod, the namespace, the deployment, and all the other Kubernetes specific entities. And it's good that it doesn't know that, because one of the core ideas behind using containers is to have portability. Your container image and your application should not care about the platform where they are running. But sometimes you still want to get the information about the pod inside the container. One way to do it would be to use the Kubernetes API via some custom scripts, Kubernetes client tools, or by modifying your application source code. While doable, this would make your container know too much about where it is running. Another way to do it is to use the Downward API. The Downward API gives you two platform-agnostic ways to supply the information about the pod into the container inside the pod, either via the environment variables or via the files. Let's try both of them in my local Kubernetes cluster. Here I have a simple job definition. This job simply echoes the name of the namespace where the pod is running. The namespace name is not available inside the container by default. To get it inside, I will define a new environment variable for this pod named myNamespace. The value of this environment variable will come directly from the pod. To achieve this, I need to write field ref followed by field path and the name of the field, in this case metadata.namespace. Field ref is the way to access the Downward API. When Kubernetes sees this, it will inject an environment variable into the container with the value being the namespace where the pod is running. There are plenty of fields available for injecting like this. It includes the node name, the service account name, and so on. You can find the full list in the documentation, which I will link in the video description. Now let's run this job and check the logs. Apparently, it runs in a default namespace. The second way to use the Downward API is to mount information about the pod into the container as a special volume. Let's modify our pod specification to mount the pod labels into the container. I will name the volume labels and reference the Downward API fields via the same field ref key. Let's also modify the command container runs to cut the file where labels are mounted. Now let's run the new job and check the log output. We see that Kubernetes created a file with one label per line. The Downward API allows you to get a lot of useful information about the pod into your application without your application being aware of Kubernetes, because the Downward API works via environment variables and files, the two sources of information that any software can understand. As I mentioned, this feature might not be required every day, but there are certain use cases for it. The most popular use case would be to increase observability. You can pass all of this metadata to the monitoring sidecar, and then it will enrich your metrics or logs with an extra information about the environment where application is running. That's it for this video. If you liked it, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to our channel. And tell me in the comments section which Kubernetes feature you think more people should know about. Thanks for watching.